Hello everybody, welcome to Vigilant Citizen. My name is Josh. Thanks for joining today. You can see that my equipment is a little bit different today. I tried this little microphone, this handy cane microphone, whatever it's called, last time, but I had it closer to this tripod, which you can see the tripod is a little bit taller. I don't know how I feel about that yet, but here we are. So I had it a little bit closer to the tripod last time, and it was picking up the road noise pretty heavily, so I didn't use it. But you can see today I'm fully committed because I do not even have the lapel mic here like I normally do. So this is it, baby. This is what we've got. This is what we're using. So I'm stuck with it. I'm looking forward to trying it. I think it will actually sound better. The problem is, can I post it, or can I sync it up in post, because that's one area that I've still struggled with. So we'll see how it goes. If I don't like it, I can always switch back to the lapel mic. Okay, today I wanted to talk to you about why you don't have any friends, and I'm a little tired of this topic now because I've tried this video 3 times, and for whatever reason it just hasn't been working, but I think I can get it this time. Maybe Jarvis will help me out here. He's actually right, you can see his head a little bit right there. What a good boy. He's my friend. I have a friend. Okay. 5 reasons why you don't have friends. Number 1, you don't give other people as much as you expect them to give you, right? If somebody needs help moving, you don't help them out, but you expect them to help you move. Things like that. You don't contribute as much to the relationship, to the friendship, as you expect to get out of it. Number 2, you don't understand what others care about. So things like if it's their birthday and they want to be recognized for that, if they got a new haircut, if they've got, I don't know, a competition of some sort coming up, or like a track meet if you're still in high school or something. Excuse me. You're not engaged in their interests the same way, or in the way that you probably should be, or just their values or their principles, like we've talked about before. You don't understand who they are and what is meaningful to them. Maybe you have a friend who goes to church, but you keep asking them to do stuff with you on Sunday mornings, right? So you just don't understand what others care about. Number 3, you think that online friends are real friends. This is never true. This is not true. And I'm talking about these friendships in which the only interaction you have is online, message boards or Discord or something like that, some sort of chat program, or through an MMORPG, which is massively multiplayer online role-playing game, for those of you who aren't quite as tech savvy as I am. Look, I'm caught up at least to 2008 on this kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty trendy when it comes to MMORPGs. I played Final Fantasy XI back in the day. But these people who are potentially your friends can completely remove you from their life with 2 clicks of a mouse, right? Or a little more, or even less. 1 click of a mouse. And if you have friends in real life, those people cannot shut you out so easily. You will run into them, right? If you go to work with them, or even if they get another job, but you're still in kind of the same area, it is impossible to have an actual friendship that is strictly online and only online without having been friends in real life first. In the meat space, is that what they call it? I don't know. That's what they were calling it a little bit ago. Maybe that term has changed as well. But there's no way to cultivate that friendship in a real, meaningful way. Because online, I suppose you can provide emotional support, you can give somebody some props, or you can help them figure out their problems a little bit by talking through it, but can you really be there for them? You can't experience their full range of emotions in a moment if you're not in person with them, and you can't do anything else for them. You can't, like I said, help them move. You can't show up for their track meet. You can't go to their basketball game, their dance recital, whatever it happens to be. You can't do any of that. You can maybe watch it on YouTube later and then comment on it and click the little like button and then hit subscribe or whatever you want to do, but is that really meaningful? That's just another way of fueling narcissism in our online digital age in which everybody's fighting for attention. So if I guess that's a good point too, and I hadn't considered that. If you have a friend who's online, are they really here to cultivate a friendship, or are they here to collect likes and collect people? Kepler, settle. Come lay down. I'll be done in a minute, Bubba. Yeah, come here. You want to say hi? Come here. Come on, say hi. Here's one of my best friends. Kepler. You're a good boy. Why are you so messy? Why are you so messy and dirty? What do you got? Is that a scratch, or is that slobber? Huh? They were out here rolling in something earlier, so they don't smell good. Jarvis, are you a little jealous now? Come on. There you go. He's not as good at this. Okay, get your nose out of that. Okay, I apologize for any sounds that may have made. Thank you. Yes, you're a good boy. These are my good boys. Dogs are really man's best friend. You know, I was talking to a former coworker. He retired. We met for lunch recently. Really good to see him. And I don't know how we got on the topic of this, but he recently had to put his dog down. She was 14, just a little too old, and having some problems and no quality of life. So we were talking about that. And I told him that whole concept of dogs as man's best friend really is true. And it really is man. It's not woman. I think there's a bond there. No offense to the ladies out there. You love your dogs, and they love you too. But I think there's a different kind of bond that we men end up with these guys. Hard to explain. Maybe I'll do a whole video on it. Anyway, sorry, that was number 3. I got sidetracked there by my best friends. Number 4, you don't ask how they're doing. And this is kind of tied to number 2, you don't understand what they care about. Number 4 is more about you don't engage with them. I see so many one-sided conversations, and I don't know if these people are friends, but something to think about. They certainly can't become friends if it's a one-sided conversation when you're engaged with somebody and they want to talk about something specific, but you want to talk about what you want to talk about, and you don't want to engage in their topic. Sometimes you've got to ask how they're doing, and just ask how their day was, and just let them talk to you and just listen, right? So, I mean, maybe number 4 could be, maybe I'll scratch it out and bring it back as you're not a good listener, right? That's really important in a friendship. It's a two-way street. It's part of number 1 as well. You don't give as much as you expect, right? So it's important to engage people if you want to be friends with them. You got to care about what they care about, or at least engage them in what they care about. And number 5, and this is probably the most important one in today's age, and it's so important that I need to stop for a moment, collect my thoughts, and take a swig of this tasty, truly mango lemonade. Bear with me. God, that is good. They should, maybe this should include a paid promotion, right? Isn't that what they're doing on the YouTube this day in age, these days? It is really good. Number 5, you're boring. This is important. And again, I'm not saying this to be mean, but it is so easy to drift through life and not do anything of consequence. Who wants to hang out with somebody like that? And so the ways to not be boring are to go get a hobby. Do something that requires sacrifice on your time to get good at something that you don't need to. And for simplicity today, I'm tossing video games out that window. We are not including video games as a hobby. That's more of an activity, right? It can be a hobby if you're doing it with people and friends, but I don't want to get into that conversation right now. Just for simplicity's sake, if you're not making friends and you're finding it difficult, what you need to do is get out there, find a hobby, put the controller down, and go meet people in doing something interesting. Yes, you can make arguments that, well, I can go to conventions, whatever. No, do something different. Get out there and do something different. And maybe this is me speaking more to former me, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do that. I thought that was a good way to make friends and stuff, and there's different subgroups and things like that, but just for simplicity's sake, that is not a hobby. A hobby is something like learning to whittle. Something that you can, that's actually a really bad example. Learning to play guitar, learning an instrument in general, right? And finding others in your local area who actually do that as well. Maybe you just want to get involved in local politics. That's perfectly fine too. That's sacrificing some time to get involved in your area. Maybe you volunteer for a nonprofit, right? That's not necessarily a hobby, but you're getting out there. That's giving you something to talk about, to tell people about, right? My wife and I do even simple things like this. We did you can see it, there you go, the Rugged Maniac, which is a mud run, not unlike the Tough Mudder that we just love, and we took a bunch of friends to that, and then we have a lot of things to talk about, and we've even done alligator wrestling, stuff like that. That's a long story, but here in Colorado there is a gator farm, and you can go do an alligator interaction tour or something. I don't know what else to call it. They don't want to call it wrestling anymore. But things like that give you things to talk about to other people, that people want to ask you about. Nobody wants to ask about how many achievements you got on your Xbox. Nobody wants to ask about how many trophies you got on your PlayStation. That's just not interesting. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Go out and do something that people want to know more about. Like I said, volunteering for a nonprofit, even that's a start. Then you start getting involved in other things and meeting new people in these noise ordinance. Good Lord. But you start meeting these people in different circles, and you see different subcultures of the community that you're in. So find something that interests you and something that maybe you want to learn. I mean, even ham radio, right? Sam came on here and showed us about ham radio. There's a huge culture around that, and learning new things about different radios you can use and different frequencies and how you can bounce your signal off the moon. I mean, that stuff's just really, I have no interest in doing it myself, except for maybe in a situation in which the grid kind of goes down and just sort of a survival thing, like if there's a huge torrential blizzard or something that isolates us for a bit. That would be useful for that. But there's so much more to it than you can get into. And you can learn so much more about that. It's like jiu-jitsu. I go for self-defense, but a lot of people go for competitions, and they learn all these new things, and you can but you're probably where you need to be once you get to a blue belt, because you can handle a decent amount of people on the street with your jiu-jitsu skills. You're not going to go into the parking lot and use some of these crazy moves that you might learn in jiu-jitsu. But moving forward with that gives you even more to talk about and gives you more to do and gets you kind of embedded into that community. So I've spent a lot of time on number 5 here. Hey, Kepler, settle. And Kepler has a lot to say about number 5, but I think it is the most important. Just don't be a boring person. Be somebody that others want to be interested in, and this requires, having a little bit of courage to go out and try something new and not worry about looking foolish your first couple times. When I started jiu-jitsu, well, and maybe you could argue that I still look foolish, but when I started jiu-jitsu, I looked pretty foolish, and I wasn't very good, and I'm still not the greatest, but, I can tell other people that I'm doing it and kind of the things that I'm learning. Same thing with guitar. I play guitar, and I can show people some of the songs that I've learned, stuff like that. So you don't have to do things that cost a ton of money. There's, like I said, volunteering or getting involved locally somehow. Just do something that's interesting. Other people want to talk about. Don't just stay home. Don't just stay home and be a homebody and playing video games all day. That's just not good for you. That's not good for anybody. Okay, I've gone on about that one long enough, but I do think it is the most important one. 5 reasons why you don't have friends. You don't give as much as you expect out of relationships. You don't understand what others care about. You think online friends are friends. You're not a good listener, and you're boring. So if you work on those 5, I don't guarantee that you're going to make a bunch of friends, right? But you will start to find people who are more likely to share your principles and your values, who you'll connect with, and you'll just naturally gravitate toward. Even if you think that you're socially awkward or anything like that, lots of people are socially awkward. We live in a time in which it seems to be kind of cool to be socially awkward, I'm sorry to tell you, it is not. It is not cool to be socially awkward. It is better for you to be able to engage with other people, have friends, even have different circles of friends, and that's totally fine. I think about myself. I have different circles of friends from work, and then from jiu-jitsu, and from a couple other things, from high school, from maybe not high school as much anymore, but from college, and they've all bled into each other, and that's really cool. That doesn't need to be what you need to do, right? If you have a couple friends over here or acquaintances, and a couple friends over here or acquaintances, and they never meet paths or cross paths, that's fine. They don't need to. For me, I like to get everybody all in the same place and see how they interact, because it's really interesting to me, and I just like it when my friends all like each other and all that kind of thing. So I end up being the sort of the center of a lot of it, because I'm just a huge extrovert and I just can't get enough of people. So I'm weird like that, I guess. So some things for you to think about. This topic, like every other topic I go on about, we could spend hours on, but that's just pretty brief surface level on just how you might not be making friends. If you want to make some friends, maybe do some of the opposite of what I've mentioned here today. So I will leave it at that. Thank you all so much for listening. If at any point in this video my voice did not match up with my lips, it's because I'm using this microphone and that video camera, and we've been going for almost 16, 17 minutes now, and that's probably when things start to splice out. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you for being patient, bearing with me if that does happen. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening in, and I will see you next time. Stay vigilant. That is good.